Problem number 2. An investor bought a number of shares of a stock for $600. After the stock's price rose by $10 per share, the investor sold all of his shares but 5 and recovered $600 he paid to purchase the shares. Determine how many shares of the stock he purchased originally. In word problems such as this one, it is often a good strategy to look at the question that the problem is asking and let the answer to that question be expressed by a variable, a letter or a letter unknown. So suppose let's denote the number of shares the investor bought originally by X. Okay, so let X be the number of shares the investor bought originally. And well, after the stock's price rose by $10 per share, we know that he sold all of his shares but 5. So the number of shares that he sold is going to be X minus 5. He sold all of them except 5. Number of shares sold. When he originally purchased X shares, he paid $600 for them. When he sold X minus 5 shares, he got back $600. Let's think about the price per share. Because the reason we want to look at the price per share is because in the problem, we are given information about how the price per share changed from the moment of time the investor bought his shares to the moment of time when he sold them. So price per share, at the moment of time when the investor bought his shares, the price per share was 600 divided by X, right? Because he purchased X shares and he paid $600 for them, and so therefore 600 divided by X is going to be the price per share when the purchase was made. Okay, and now what about the price per share when he sold them? He got back $600 again, but he sold not all X shares, he sold X minus 5 shares. So we will be dividing 600 by X minus 5 to determine the price per share when the sale took place. And now we can express the information in the problem where we are told that the stock's price rose by $10. So therefore, if we compare these two numbers, 600 divided by X and 600 divided by X minus 5, the second number is going to be $10 higher than the first. And therefore, our equation is going to look like this. 600 divided by X plus 10 equals 600 divided by X minus 5. And now all we need to do is solve this equation for x. A good way to do that is to clear denominators. Note that the variable x appears in this equation in two places, and in both places it's in the denominator. So to clear the denominators, what we're going to do is we're going to multiply both sides of this equation by the product of the two denominators that we have in this equation. In other words, we will be multiplying both sides by x and by x minus 5. Now on the right hand side, x minus 5 in the denominator will cancel out x minus 5 in the numerator. On the left hand side, when we distribute x times x minus 5 to the two terms in parentheses, this term and this term, when we multiply 600 over x by x times x minus 5, again, x in the denominator will cancel out with the x in the numerator, and we will get 600 times x minus 5. When we multiply 10 by x and x minus 5, nothing cancels out, so we just leave it like that. And then on the right hand side, we've already discussed, we get 600 times x. Okay, now next let's multiply everything out and collect similar terms, make cancellations for the terms that cancel. On the left hand side, we have 600x minus 3000 plus 10x squared minus 50x equals 600x. Now 600x on the right hand side and 600x on the left hand side cancel out, and what remains is 10x squared minus 50x plus minus 3000 is 0. Here for this equation we can divide everything by 10. And so the conclusion then is x squared minus 5x minus 300 equals 0. Now let's go ahead and solve this equation. I'm looking to see if we can factor it out easily. Yeah, we can. So the left-hand side factors as x minus 20 times x plus 15 equals 0. And so the solutions of this quadratic equation are x equals to 20 and x equals to negative 15. Now the negative solution doesn't make sense in this context, right? Because the number of shares that the investor bought could not be negative. So we disregard x equals to negative 15, and we just go with the positive solution of x equals to 20. The investor bought 20 shares.